Hey, Greg, congratulations on the win. Wanted to talk about the first half and how you think the Galaxy played in that, especially sort of looking at how you're able to game in that first half and what adjustments you made into that second half.
Yeah, I mean, I thought in the first half, in terms of just possession and being able to advance the ball, we were pretty good. But I felt like when we got to 30 yards and in, there was nothing going behind. It was all just stopping at that point. And then it was coming inside. It was getting narrow. There was no stretch. There was no finish to the attack. So then when you turn over the ball, it's just coming back at you. So, yeah, I mean, part of the discussion on that side of things at halftime was obviously we switched Gabe and Joe. Just instead of the funneling inside, it's trying to get those guys maybe to get behind a little bit more, just emphasizing some run outs and some running into the depth and not just stopping and going into possession. You know, our attacks need to finish. We need to be goal dangerous. We can't just pass the ball around. So that was that. And then we, defensively in the first half, I thought we were generally okay. I wanted to get more pressure on the ball a little bit higher. I felt like it was just a little bit we were conceding territory a little bit too easily. Coincidentally, as we shifted the way we were going to defend, they shifted the way they were going to attack to the opposite side. So that created a little bit of problem for us until we were able to get resituated. And that kind of coincided defensively with also Ricky coming on and changing the game on the attacking side. I mean, he took the game to another level and another speed, and I think there shouldn't really be too many comments on whether this team is better with or without Ricky. I think that's nonsense. He just proved today that his capacity and his quality makes our team great, right? We can be really good, but he helps to make our team great. And so I was happy for him because he certainly changed the game, and the next two goals that really put the game away came from him. So I was happy for him today.
And can you talk about John McCarthy's play? Third straight clean sheet. Really seems to be coming into his own also with the help of the defense there.
Yeah, I think John he's certainly at times had to come up with some really big saves, and then he's had those moments, and then there's times when he just has to play the veteran smart goalkeeper, be in the right position, make the smart right plays, do all the little things well, and he's done that well, So I think, again, coinciding with the defending getting a little more solid just collectively in front of him, I think some of the chances that he's getting, particularly tonight, I don't think there was a ton of really difficult saves. I think the ones that might have been, they actually hit over the bar and they hit in different areas. They didn't put him on target. So, but John's again, just his maturity back there and his capacity to come up, because he did come up with a couple big saves tonight, but his capacity to come up with a save when we need it has been really strong for us. And you can't say too much about that, especially when you're on the road. The opposition is going to get something. There's going to be a moment here or there, and when it has been, John's been there. And 3 shutouts is big for us. That's something that we really talked about in this half of the season coming back was tightening that up, and it certainly has been a little bit tighter here over the last few games.
Thanks, Greg.
Mm-hmm. Let's go with Damien.
Hey, Greg. As you turn your attention to another El Tráfico, in what ways has this group developed since the first meeting with LAFC?
Well, I mean, I think in the first meeting we were still a pretty new group. I mean, we were still integrating some of our guys. Joe and Gabe had just got here and So I think, both teams have certainly grown and figured some things out about themselves. Both teams are now in really good form and playing well and getting good results. So, for us, it's just been maturing as a group and the collective, getting new guys on the same page with, our principles and things that we want to do, being a little bit more tactically sound in certain situations, especially just transition defending and some of those things that we really needed to be a little bit cleaner. So I just think we're maturing. That's what a season is for. And when you add key players and important positions, that's what you hope to do in a season, is to grow and learn from your different experiences and tighten things up and continue to get better. And I think that's just what the group is. Also, we've got some guys who are back in, who weren't healthy or weren't ready in the early part of the season, that have been helping us out. Jalen's done really well. Obviously, he's come into the team, and I think he's been a part of all, if not all but one, of our shutouts so far. He's really helped kind of group, and Mickey's obviously adapted to the league a little bit more since the first time. So it's just natural growth for the players that are new, and also for the collective.
The Nelson for Audi sub, was that precaution or just tactical or?
It was precaution. He was getting a little bit sore, in the area where he's been we've been managing him a little bit, and we just precaution wise, we needed to get him out and not overexpose him in this situation. So I think he'll be fine. It's just one of these where sometimes when he gets a little bit inflamed or fired up, we just need to be aware of it. At some point here over the next couple of weeks, we're probably gonna have to give him a little bit of time to really try to get this thing calmed down. But he's been managing well. It's just when it gets into the game, we haven't really had this situation in a game yet. We've had it at times after games where he's a little sore. So it's just managing him through this situation, and it was a little bit precaution.
Is that a groin, knee, or?
It's more growing. It's kind of a pubalgia, if they say, a little bit of inflammation sort of in the growing area. But again, it's on and off, on again, off again, and he's had good days. Most of the time he's good, but there's some days like today, because we traveled day of, I think sitting in the airplane and maybe traveling on the day, he just was maybe a little more sensitive today than he has been in the past.
Let's go with Alex.
Hey Greg, thank you for your time. Congratulations on the win. We saw Mauricio Cueva score his first LA Galaxy goal today. Lately we've seen him kind of play as a winger. Is that maybe something that you want to see in the future from him?
Well, I just think he's a good soccer player. He knows how to play in the wide areas. He's dynamic. Even when he plays fullback, he's in a dynamic, attacking type of fullback. So with Johnny being down, and at the time where, with Joe not being fully healthy yet, we needed to manufacture a little bit there, and Mouty's come on and proven that he actually really understands the role, and has actually proven that he can help us out there. So it's not going to be his primary role, but to be versatile, especially as a young player, can certainly help you to get more minutes and get on the field. So that's played a huge benefit for him, and I feel perfectly confident with him out there. I think he did a great job today, and he has done in each of his appearances over the last couple of weeks. Whenever he's got on, I think he's looked really strong and really solid and really clear about both his attacking and defending roles. So I'm happy for him. I don't think he's a winger in his future, but but any minutes you can get as a young player are positive minutes, and that's for him. These are good minutes.
Yeah, and if you could talk about the importance of getting Joseph Paintsill on the scoreboard. I mean, he's gone a couple games. Maybe his form was a bit low, but how important is it now heading into this El Tráfico game that he's up? Thank you.
Yeah, I think, with Joe, again, getting kind of that fitness up, which is, we were trying to be a little bit cautious the last 3-game week, to get him to see, again, our capacity in the transition with Gabe running and Joe running, and then when Ricky's out there, he's running, and Deion's running, just our capacity, and it's one of the things I said, one of the best things about our group this year is our ability to change games in the attacking transition, defending to attacking transition, and so it was on full display there. It was a great pass by Gabe to get it out across the defender and let Joe run onto it, and a wonderful finish from Joe. And he was having a little bit of a congestion breathing issue in the dry air or something up here, so we were a little cautious with him in that last 30 minutes, but it's more just respiratory. I think it was nothing major, but that's kind of why he came out in the last 30 minutes, was just he was coughing a lot, and we just wanted to be, again, careful as we build towards a really busy week and an important next couple games as well.
And we have time for one final question for Sophie. One question, because we've got to go to the airport. Thanks.
Hi Greg, congrats on the win. That counter-attack on the first goal was absolutely sublime, and probably one that makes you exceptionally happy, and your 2 DPs as well. Is that one of your most favourite moments of the season so far? Because it looked like the perfect example of what a counter-attack should be. Thank you.
I was happy for it because the timing couldn't have been better, and we were, to be fair, we were kind of surviving that corner kick specifically a little bit. The ball was kind of hanging around in our box, and we weren't getting a clear clearance on it, when it popped out, I think it was a Bobase who tried to keep it in, and he just couldn't really make contact, and that's what really sprung it. And then you see the speed of Gabe and the quality of Gabe on the pass, the speed of Joe, because as they got the numbers and they had the open space, the execution of that action was really good. And again, if you're going to overpress us or send too many numbers high, there could be a cost on the other side, which we showed tonight, which is something that's a little bit newer from last year to this group this year, is just that the ability to change games in that phase of play. And so it was wonderful to get those guys going. It was great to get Joe on the board since he's come back. I know he's feeling good about scoring. So we move on. We're on to the next one, big one in front of us.